All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatham. Yahweh Shem Malatham Bashem Yahushai. I'm Priest Officer Karak, holding down with Priest Officer Amatazah for the ISUPK weekly Sabbath service. Give the Lord a hand. All right. Of course, as the scriptures command us to do in Leviticus the 23rd chapter, every week we celebrate the Lord's Sabbath service. And that, of course, is every Saturday, every seventh day of the week, right? Today, we'll be going over Isaiah, the 45th chapter. If y'all been tuning in with us for the last few weeks, for the last few Sabbath services, we've been in the book of Isaiah a lot. Isaiah is a book, you know what I'm saying, that's real heavy. It's a lot of different things that there are to break down. So the way that we do our Sabbath services is we're going to take Isaiah, the 45th chapter, and we're going to break that whole chapter on down, 7 verses at a time, right? So I don't want to waste too much time. I know we got a slightly late start, so I want to make sure we can get the whole chapter in. So we'll go ahead and start the Sabbath service. So just a minute up here, I might wish me to stand. You can get a horn to blow. We're not going to call you that. All right. Everybody else, I might wish me to stand. We're done with me to face the east. What we'll do is we're going to do the prayers.
We're going to read the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Quadat, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwatka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharatza, Kawak, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathanaw, Lacham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalachnaw, Kawawathinaw, Wasalachnaw, Kawawathinaw, Wala'ah, Tabayanaw, Banasai 1, Abal, Hawashanaw, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wathaparat, La'aiwalamyam, Aman.
All right, the Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Babakasha, it's like Nathanaw, Haka, La Rapa'ah, Kalmayaka Allah, Wakal, Madawa, Haka, Latahar, Hamatazarium, Haka, Lakwayum, Hamathyum, Haka, Al, Rakawat, Hamata'ala, Lagarshan, Bashem, Yahushai, the Wadaman.
We're going to read that same prayer, the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it.
We're going to read Psalms 121. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al, Haharya, Ma'ayan, it's like Yaba'ah, Azariah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Asha, Shamayam, Wa'aratza, Al, Yathan, Lamawat, Galka, Al, Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shawamar, Yashra Allah, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyaka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'athka, Wabawa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Iwalam.
All right, Psalms, the 121st chapter in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasha Allah
he that keepeth Yasharallah
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in,
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. We're going to get Psalms the 83rd. Alahayim, Al, Damaya, Laka, Al, Thakaraj, Wa'al, Tashakwash, Al, Kayab, Ana, Awa, Yabyaka, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al, Amaka, Ya'ira, Yamawa, Sawada, Wayatha, Ya'aitizawa, Al, Tazapa, Wanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wana, Kakidam, Magaya, Wala'a, Yazarka, Yazakar, Sham Yashra'ala, Awada, Kayab, Nawa'aitizawa, Laba, Lakadwa, Ayaka, Baryath, it's like Yakarathwa, Ahalia, Adawam, Wa, Yashamai, Alayam, Mawa'aba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wa'aimawan, Wa'amalak, Palashat, I'm Yeshubya, Tazawar, Gum Yashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Ashah, Laham, Kamadya, Kasa, Kasaya, Sara'ah, Kayabyan, Manakal, Kayashwan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan, Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La'a, Dama, Shaya, Thamwa, Nada, Yamawa, Ka'ira, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal, Mana'ai, Kal, Nasa, Yakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayarasha, Nalawa, Na'awat, Alahayam, Shayathamwa, Gogala, Kakwash, Napanya, Rawak,
Rawak,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Taba'ira,
Taba'ira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wa,
Wa,
Kalahaba,
Kalaba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Harayam,
Haryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Tharadapma,
Taradapma,
Basairaka,
Basairaka,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapathka,
Wapathka,
Tabahalam,
Tabahalam,
Mala'a,
Mala'a,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kualawan,
Kalawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Bakwashwa,
Bakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahawa,
Aya,
Aya,
Ai,
Waya,
Waya, Kaparwa,
Kaparwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Abadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
the Iowa,
the Iowa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Atha,
Atha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Al-Yawan,
Al-Yawan,
Al,
Al,
Kal,
Kal,
Ha'aratza.
Ha'aratza.
All right, Psalms, the 83rd chapter in the English. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden one.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Yashar'Allah
That the name of Yashar'Allah
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more in remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom
The tabernacles of Edom.
and the Ishmaelites
And the Ishmaelites.
of Moab
Of Moab.
and the
And
Hagarenes,
the Hagarenes.
Gabal
Gabal.
and Ammon
And Ammon.
and Amalek,
And Amalek.
the Philistines
The Philistines.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
A sword also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
Do unto them as unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabeah.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of
At
Kisan,
the brook of Kisan.
which perished that endured.
Which perished and endured.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like Oreb.
and like Zeeb.
And like Zeeb.
Yea,
Yea.
all their princes as Zabah,
All their princes as Zabah.
and as
And
Zalmunna,
as Almunna.
who said,
Who said,
Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession.
let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God.
make them like a wheel,
Make them like a wheel.
as the stubble before the wind,
As the stubble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
As the fire burneth the wood.
and as the flame setteth the mountains on
And
fire.
as the flame set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them with thy tempest,
So persecute them with thy tempest.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
And make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with shame.
that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh.
That they may seek thy name, O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Let them be confounded and troubled forever.
Yea,
Yea.
let them be put to shame and perish.
Let them be put to shame and perish.
That men may know that
That
thou,
men may know that thou,
whose name alone
whose name alone
is
is
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
are the most high over all the earth.
art the most high over all the earth. We're going to read the blessings. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Allahayim.
Wa Allahayim.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Ha Alawap Yah.
Alawap Yah.
Hasaranyam.
Asaranyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Akwatazayanyam.
Hakayayanyam.
Akayayoyam.
Wa Akwathim.
Wahagwathim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahushai.
The water Aman.
So what our month in the English, the blessings. Bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohana.
Commanding General Yohana.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you. So be it.
Thank you, so be it.
All right, sorry where you're shopping. We can be seated. Yeah, go do your thing. It's all good. All right, so what we're going to do is, what I say, 45th chapter of Isaiah. We're going to read it, the first 7 verses in the Hebrew, and then we'll break it down in the English, get a clear understanding of it. All right. I could read the Hebrew unless you want to.
Yeah, I'll give you a shot.
Okay, that's what. So Isaiah, the 45th chapter, verses 1 through 7.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 1. Ka, Amar, Yahweh, Lamashah,
Be La Masha Yakwa.
Lamasha Yakwa, Lakwa, Lakwarsha, Lakwarasha, Asherah, Akwatazakwa, Akwatazakwathya, Bayamyan, Bayamyanwa, Narada, Lapanyawa, Goyam, Goyam, Wanatha Naya, Malakayam, Apathka, Lapathka, Lapanyawa, Dalathayam, it's like Dalathyam, Washairayam, La'a, Yasagarwa, verse 2. Anaya, Lapanyaka, Alaka, Wahad Rayam, Awashar, Dalatha, Watha, Nakawasha, Ashabar, Waba, Wabara, Yakaya, Baratazal,
It's like Barzal.
Barzal,
Okay.
Barzal, Agada, Agda'i, verse 3. Wanathaya, Laka, Awatazar, Watha, or Wath,
Kashka, Wamata, Wam, Taman,
I'm about to warn you.
Wamatamonya, Manasatha, Raya, Yawam, Lama I, Na, Tarada I, Kaya, Naya, Anaya, Yahawah, Ha, Hakwa Ra, Bashamaka, Allah, Allahaya, Yashra Allah. Verse 4. Yeah, I'm a one. I Budya. Yeah, I Kawab. Wash Rush. Wayashra Allah. Bakaya. Bakar Yaraka. Sorry. Yaraya. Wa Akwar Laka. Bashamka. Akana. Akanak. Wala Yasha. Sorry. Yada Ith Naya. Verse 5. Anaya Yahweh Wa'ayan Iwada Zawa Lathaya Ayana Alahayim Azarka Wana Wala'a Yada Ith Naya. Verse 6. I'm a one. La da Ira. La da Iwa. Mazarka. Shamash. Wama Iraba. Kaya Abasa Apasa Bala'ai Daya Anaya Yahweh Wa'ayan Awada. Verse 7. Yawatazar Award Wabara. Kashaka. Asha. Aisha. Shala. Sorry. Is it Shalawam or
Yeah.
Shalawam? Wabara. Wabara. Ra'ai. Anya. Anaya. Yahweh. Asha. Kala. Allah.
All right, Most High Christ. So that was verses 1 through 7 in the Hebrew. Now we're going to read it in the English and break it on down. All right, so we're in the book of Isaiah, the 45th chapter. We're going to start at the first verse. If you could, sir, if you don't mind reading it for me.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, what?
Verse book of Isaiah chapter 45 verse 1. Thus saith the Lord to his anointed.
Says what?
His anointed.
Go ahead.
Cyrus.
To Cyrus.
To Cyrus.
To Cyrus, right? Go ahead.
Whose right hand I have holden. To subdue nations before him.
So now Cyrus is who? Anybody know who Cyrus is? Cyrus was an Assyrian king. All right. Cyrus was an Assyrian king. He was not an Israelite, right? He was somebody the hell else, right? So why the hell is the Lord calling him his anointed, right? What Cyrus did is Cyrus was he played a major role in freeing the Israelites from the Babylonian captivity, right? So, the Most High used Cyrus as his hand in removing the children of Israel from the Babylonian captivity, right? Let's keep reading about it. Keep going. Start from to subdue.
To subdue nations before him.
Remember, Cyrus started his own empire. I can't pronounce it. It's like Echidnius or something crazy like that, right? Something ridiculous. It was an Assyrian empire. And he established that empire by himself. He ran the empire for around 20 years, right? And within that empire, the children of Israel were in captivity under the Babylonians, right? And through the hand of the Lord, with Cyrus, he drove the Babylonians out of the land of Israel and saved the children of Israel out of that captivity, right? But let's keep going. Go ahead.
And I will loose the loins of kings to open before him the 2 leavened gates, and the gates shall not be shut.
So all this is saying right here, right, is that the Lord is using this king to save his children, right? Keep going.
I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight.
What was that? And make the what?
I will go before thee and make the crooked places straight.
So all in order to save the children of Israel out of the hand of the Babylonians, right? The Lord said that he was going to walk with this heathen. He was going to walk with this heathen to make the crooked places straight. What does that mean? That's talking about anything that's wicked, the Lord is going to make right, right? Keep going.
I will break in pieces the gates of brass and cut in sunder the brass of iron.
Now give me Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter, if you could, right? Because this is important, right? We're going to break this whole chapter down, right? Because this chapter it really explains the power of the Most High, right? The Lord will use whoever. It doesn't have to be an Israelite. It can be any goddamn body, right? The Lord put COVID-19 in this place, right? He can whatever he wants to do, he can do it. Whatever hand that he wants to use for it, he can use it, right? So let's talk about this, right? Give me Ecclesiastes, the 7th chapter and the 13th verse.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 13. Consider the work of God.
So now this is a provoking thought, right? This is a thought-provoking scripture. Consider the work of the Most High. Go ahead.
For who can make that straight which he hath made crooked?
So of course this is a rhetorical question, right? Because Solomon is asking, who can make straight which the Lord had made crooked, right? I think we forget that sometimes, that the Lord can make things crooked, right? The Lord causes, and we're going to read it in that same 45th chapter of Isaiah, that the Most High causes evil. He causes evil and he causes peace, right? So now the question posed is, who can make straight which the Lord had made crooked? Go ahead.
Verse 14. In the day of prosperity, be joyful. But in the day of adversity, consider.
So in the day of prosperity, when everything going, good for you, whatever the case, right? Be joyful. But in the day of adversity, when things are not going your way, consider what? Go ahead.
God also has set the one over against the other.
So the Most High has done this thing. The Most High has set nation against nation, right? Don't we see even Christ say the same thing? In times, the nations are going to come up against each other.
Right.
And that's not because they want to do it. They don't have the free will to do whatever they want to do. They're going to do what the Lord causes them to do. If you go into the book of Revelation, you can see the angels pouring out vials upon this place. When it says that they're pouring out vials, they're causing the destruction, right? They're causing the unrest. And that's what the Lord is doing, right? That's what the Lord is doing. Keep going.
To the end that man should find nothing after him.
To the end that man should what?
Should find nothing after him.
So what does that mean? The Lord is going to cause all of these things. Remember, we just saw that the Lord makes crooked, right? Who can make straight what the Lord made crooked, right? And then so you keep on reading, you realize that man should find nothing after him, meaning no man can make straight what the Lord had made crooked, right?
Right.
And so that's why this is really important when you go back. Now we could go back to Isaiah the 45th chapter. It's really important when you read in the scripture to understand that the Lord is using this heathen. He's saying, I'm going to go before you and make the crooked places straight. No man could have made these crooked places straight. Cyrus didn't do the job, right? That was the Lord and his angels that did that job. The angels were set before Cyrus to push them Babylonians out of their place of rulership, right? And so now, just so you have that little bit of context, we're going to go back to Isaiah the 45th chapter. We're going to start at the 3rd verse. All right, go ahead.
And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, am the God of Israel.
Oh, the God of who?
Of Israel.
So now the reason why he's doing these things is not, it's not for any vain reason, right? The reason why the Lord is doing these things is so that way the Most High can be recognized as the Most High. Remember, the Lord he calls himself a jealous God. What does that mean? He don't want nobody above him, or he don't want you even thinking that somebody is above him, right? And that's the point. That's the reason why he brings us into these captivities. Remember, the Lord puts us into captivity, right? He brings us into captivity for our wrongdoing, for us not keeping the commandments of God. And then he also does what? Brings us out, right? The Lord does all of these things for his own glory. That's why the Lord does these things. Keep going.
Right. Verse 4. For Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, my elect.
My who?
My elect.
Now remember, this is still the Lord talking to the king, right? He's still talking to Cyrus. He's talking to a Persian king right now. It's like an Assyrian king, right? And he's saying that for Jacob, my servant's sake, and Israel, mine elect. Go ahead.
I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me.
Though thou what?
Thou hast not known me.
So now this is what I want everybody to understand. The Lord knows that none of these other nations know him. There is no other nation, right? Give me Amos the 3rd chapter, right? And you can start at verse 1. There is no other nation that knows the Most High God, and the Most High God doesn't know any other nation, right? Amos the 3rd chapter is proof of that, because he's talking to an Assyrian king that he used to bring the children of Israel out of captivity.
That's right.
But he still said, you have not known me. And this is why he says that. Give me Amos the 3rd chapter in the 1st verse.
Amos chapter 3, verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord hath spoken against you, O children of Israel.
Who?
Of Israel.
So now this is the Most High speaking to the children of Israel in Amos the 3rd chapter. Keep going.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
And this is a very specific thing. That same family that he brought out of Egypt, he's speaking this to. Go ahead.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So the Lord only knows the children of Israel, right? He made it clear to the king Cyrus, and he also made it clear to us several times, right? You only have I known out of all of the families of the earth. Go ahead.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So this is proof, right? This shows you perfectly why these other nations you see are on top of us, right? The white man is on top of us. Why? Because the Lord doesn't know him. So he got his strength from wickedness. He didn't get his strength from the Most High. He got his strength and he built up his empire from wickedness. Didn't he build up America by using niggas as slaves? Didn't he do that? Didn't he build this place by stealing this land and murdering Native American Indians? Right? That's what he did. And the Lord has not punished him for it. Not yet. Right? Because he's allowed to flourish in this place. He's allowed to build this place up with skyscrapers and make $1 million homes. And you can live in $1 million home and be, you know, a billionaire. Right? But all of those things don't matter. Why? Because the Lord didn't choose them. So the Lord's not going to punish them for their iniquities because they can't sin against God. They can't, because sin is the transgression of the law. Who did the Most High give the law to? The children of Israel. So the Lord not worried about them. It's almost like this. It's almost like, remember, the Lord is a father, right? He's a father of the children of Israel, right? Just like your daddy would tell you, I don't give a damn if them other kids is jumping off of bridges and doing all of these crazy things, right? And selling dope. Don't be around them because I don't want you doing those things. And that's the way the Lord looks at us. And so if you read that verse 2 again, it'll explain exactly what I just said. Go ahead.
Verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So you my child. They not my child. I ain't worried about what they doing. Go ahead.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So therefore, that's why we get punished. That's why we're at the bottom. We're not at the bottom by chance. We're the greatest people on the face of this planet. We built this. We built America. I don't think anybody really understands what we've really done to build this place. Right. The so-called African American built this place from the ground up. The economic system of America is based off of the backs of the slaves, right? And then not only that, but the land was stolen from the North American Indians and from the so-called Mexicans. You get what I'm saying? So we're great. We can build an empire. You get what I'm saying? Like this place was built up already. The North American Indians, did they not already have their own economy? Right. The so-called Mexicans, they had their own economy. You get what I'm saying? And with great power and great might and an army. But because we failed to keep the law of the Most High, the Lord said, no, it's a hell with that. Right. I'm going to punish you because of your iniquity. Right. So now take me back. Actually, let me get another one. Give me Joel 2:27. Joel. Right. Joel. Joel. Right. Let's get another one. Right. Because we gotta see why the Lord is saying this thing to the king of the Assyrians, right?
Chapter.
Yeah, give me 2:27.
2:27. The book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 27. And ye shall know that I am the Lord. And ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel.
So this is the Most High speaking to the children of Israel, right? And he's saying, you shall know, because if you read a little bit further up, it's talking about the destruction of the other nations and the Lord gathering us back together. And because of those things, the Lord is now saying, ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel. What does it mean to be in the midst of something? To be in the middle of something, right? The Lord is the root of Israel. Remember, the Lord gave Jacob his name Israel, which is the father of the 12 tribes of Israel, right? So he's saying, you shall know that I am in the midst of Israel. Go ahead.
And that I am the Lord your God.
The Lord what?
Your God.
Talking to the children of Israel. I'm the Lord your God. Go ahead.
And none else.
And what?
And none else.
There is no, listen, the Most High God is not the God of any other nation, right? He's not the God of the Edomites. The Edomites had their own God. The Ammonites, the so-called Japanese, they got their own God. The Elamites, the East Indians, they got their own God, right? They got their own little false gods that they worship. But the Lord is telling us that he is our God and none else, right? We don't have another God that we can pray to. So we can try to pray to Caesar Borgia, which is what, you know, the world calls Jesus Christ and that white boy, right? We can pray to that. And that's what we do in the Christian churches, right? But the Lord sent somebody else. He didn't send Caesar Borgia to come down and save us. He sent a black man by the name of Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach in the Hebrew, right? That's who he sent us to serve, right? And so because that's the case, the Lord is trying to prove to us and show us that he is our God and none else, right? Keep going.
And my people shall never be ashamed.
And my people shall what?
Shall never be ashamed.
So remember, the Lord is real possessive. The Lord is possessive when it comes to his children. The Lord doesn't want us serving any other God. He doesn't want any other nation of people to claim us. The Lord is possessive in that sense. He says, my people. He says, I'm the Lord, your God. I'm the God of Israel. You find that all throughout the Bible, and you don't find any contradictions to that, right? That's the theme of the Bible, is that the Lord is with us and with us only, right? And so I just wanted to pull those couple of precepts to show you. You can take me back to Isaiah, the 45th chapter. I just wanted to pull those couple of precepts to show you that the reason why he said that Cyrus didn't know him is because he didn't know Cyrus either. He just used Cyrus as a puzzle piece in bringing the children of Israel out of the captivity under the Babylonians. All right. So you can take me back. I think we have verse 5 now.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 5. I am the Lord, and there is none else.
Go ahead.
There is no God beside me.
And this is the point that the Lord is constantly trying to make. Because what do we do as a people? We always are rearing up idols and statues to serve, right? Even if you go back into the story of the Exodus, right? And immediately after, we just saw the Most High part the sea for us and swallow up the Egyptian army into that sea and get us safely on the other side so we can escape from that captivity. Immediately after that, we rearing up an idol because of, a hard time, right? Remember, when Moses was up on that mountain conversing with the Most High, getting the statutes and the laws from the Most High, we down here on the ground. We don't know what the hell is going up on that mountain, right? And so what do? After a few days, we like, yeah, y'all just brought us out here to kill us, right? So what did they do, right? They told Aaron, listen, we got to make another God, because the God that y'all talking about then brought us out to the wilderness to kill us. We hungry and thirsty. You hear what I'm saying? But because that's the case, Aaron, he caved in and he said, all right, well, give me y'all earrings, your gold earrings, your gold rings, right? And what did he do? He melted them down into a golden calf. And then what did Aaron say? He said, this is the God that brought you out of the land of Egypt. After you've seen the Most High God literally put 10 plagues on the Egyptians and then swallow them up in a sea that he parted. But now this calf that this nigga just made right in front of you, that's God now, right? The reason why is because we as a people are hard-headed. The scriptures call us what? Stiff-necked, right? We're a stiff-necked people, and we constantly have to be reminded who the Most High God is. And so that's why he does it all throughout the scriptures. All throughout the scriptures, I am the Lord your God. There is none else. There is no other God beside me. I'm a jealous God. All of those things have to keep being repeated because we're so stupid. You got to put that in your head. We're a stupid people. Because if we knew what we had, we would follow the Most High God consistently, right? But there are so many. You go outside of these doors and you can see so many Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers and sisters that know what the Most High God is, but refuse to serve him because it might get a little hard, just like it was for the brothers and sisters that escaped the Egyptian captivity, right? All right, let me shut up because I know we got a little bit more to go through, right? So now take me, you can keep going from where you at. It's a lot.
I girded thee, though thou hast not known me.
So he said, I guarded thee, right? Though thou hast not known me. The Lord protected Cyrus. Why? He protected him because he wanted to protect his children. Cyrus was the one might, the one power, right? The one person that was in a position of authority to guide the children of Israel out of that captivity under the Babylonians. That's why he guarded Cyrus. It wasn't because he cared about Cyrus. It was because he cared about his children. Keep going.
That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else.
Once again, he repeating the same thing. Keep going.
I form the light, and I create light. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace, and I create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Now give me 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter. Let's remember this. I think this is a hard thing for Blacks and Hispanics to understand because throughout the Christian church, you're taught that God is good, what? All the time. And then you repeat it right on back and you say all the time, God is good. Is God good all the time? I think Isaiah, the 45th chapter just proved that wrong, right? The Lord creates evil before a purpose, right? The reason that you was born in the condition that you was under, the Lord created that thing, man. He created that. The captivity that we're under today, under this harsh, under this evil oppression in this harsh establishment that we've been under. We're under this oppression and under this rulership because the Lord creates evil. We have to remember that. And that's not something to get you to be like, damn, I'm not going to follow that God. What it is supposed to do is to make you be like, yeah, I better follow that God. That's the point of the Lord telling you that he creates evil, right? So let's get 1 Samuel, the 2nd chapter. I think we started the 5th verse. I kill, I make alive. I think it might be the 6th verse.
1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive.
He does what?
The Lord killeth and make it alive.
So now we see here also, just to back up, we go precept upon precept, like Isaiah the 28th chapter says, right? Precept must be upon precept and line must be upon line, right? We just read in Isaiah the 45th chapter in the 7th verse that the Most High creates evil. Well, let's prove that somewhere else. We went back in the First Samuel, the 2nd chapter, and we just read that the Lord killeth and he maketh alive. The Lord is the reason why you're living and breathing today, but he's also the reason you're going to die. That's him too, right? You can't have, remember this, you can't have just 100% good. There has to be a balance. Like the scriptures say, there must be a balance. Everything has to have a balance, right? You can't have good without evil. And the Lord creates all things. He told you he created that evil, right? And so because that's the case, we see the Lord killeth and he maketh alive. Keep going.
He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
So he bringeth you down to the grave, meaning what? He puts you in the grave. He can kill you, but he also does what? Rises you up. He can rise you up out of that old person that you were. Remember, the scriptures say this. Paul says this. You must become a new man. You must be born again. Christ said that. You must be born again. Who does that? You? If you made every decision in your life, it would be terrible. But the Lord decides who he's going to raise up, right? The Lord decides that you get to become a new man, right? And that's the point. The point is that the Most High can give you also a reprobate mind. He can make you the type of person that never accepts the truth. He can make you that person. He can make sure that you see our classes and you see us teaching the truth of the Most High, and then you don't come in here and you decide to continue being a Christian. You decide to keep serving yourself. Or he can call you and he can choose you and he can raise you up out of that dead, out of that dust, right? And you can come in here and you can learn the knowledge of the Most High and become that new person. He does both of those things. Keep going.
Verse 7. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich.
Boy, he does what?
He maketh poor and maketh rich.
Yeah, you now you wonder why you was poor growing up. And your mama might have been a crack addict and your daddy might have been locked up in jail and she was working 2 jobs and still couldn't pay the rent. You wonder why that happened? That's because the Lord made it happen. Now, what are you going to do to fix it? Because he can also make rich. Are you going to do something about it, or are you going to continue living in the condition that you live in? In order to do something about it, you must follow the Most High, because if he's the one that's doing these things, then that means you must serve him to get yourself out of that position and out of that condition, right? Keep going.
He bringeth low and lifteth up.
So he can bring you low and he can lift you up. He can make you the type of person that gets strung out on drugs. You think that doesn't come from the Most High? Them brothers and sisters that you see out there, it's a sad thing to see. Them brothers and sisters that you see out there that are strung out on drugs and are prostitutes and doing all manner of wickedness, they're doing that because the Lord brought them low, right? And it's our job in here to try to persuade them, to persuade the Most High to bring them up, right? Rise them up, raise them up so that they can become that new man, right? So let's keep going. I don't want to talk too much because we got a lot more in this chapter to go through, right? So now we got the next 7 verses we're reading the Hebrew, all right? You want me to read it? You want to read it?
Go ahead.
All right. So now we're going to read verses 8 through 14, I believe. All right, verse 8. Our I, Yapawa, Sham Yum, Mama Al, Aishak Kwayum, Yazawa, Tazadak, Thapathka, Arataza, Wayapawa, Yashai, Itazad Kwa, it's like Atazadqua, Tatazam Yaka, Yakad, Anya, Yahweh, Bara'ath Yawa, verse 9. Hawaya, Rabah, it's like a Rab, Ath, Yatazarwa, Karash, Ath, Karashya, Adamah, Haya Amar, Kamar, Layatazarwa, Ma'a, it's like a Maha, the Aisha, Wapau, it's like a Wapau Ka, Ayan, Yadyum, Lawa, verse 10, Hawaya, Amar, La'aba, Maha, Thawab Yada, Wala it's like Wala Asha'a, Maha, Thakayayam, it's like Thakayayan, verse 11, Kaha Amar Yahweh, Quadawash, Yasha'ala, Wayatazarwa, Ha'athayawath, Sha'al, Wanya, Al, Banya, Wa'al, Pa'al, Yadya, Tatazawat, it's like Tatazawanya, verse 12, Anakya, Aisha, Yathya, Arataza, Wa'adam, Al-Ya, Bara'athya, Anya, Yadya, Natawa, Shamayam, it's like a Shamyam, Wakal, Tazaba'am, Tazawa, it's like a Tazawa, Yathya, verse 13, Anakya, Ha'ayar, Tha'wa, Batazadqua, it's like a Batazadak, Wakal, Barak, it's like a Barak Yawa, Ayashar, Awa, Yabana, Ayarya, Wagal, Wathaya, Yes, it's like it, Yashalak, La'a, Bamak, it's like it, Bamak Yar, Wala'a, Bashakar, Amar, Yahweh, Tazaba'a, it's like it, Tazaba'awaf, verse 14, Kaha, Amar, Yahweh, Yagayai, Matazarium, Wasakar, Kawash, Wasaba, it's like a Wasaba Yum, Anasha, Mada, Al Yaka, Ibar, it's like a Ibarwa, Wamak, it's like a Wamaka, Yahayawa, Akar Yaka, Yalakwa, Salaki Bazak Yum, Ibarwa, Waha, Salaki Wahayaka, Yes, Salaki, Yashakath, Salaki Yashathakwa, Al-Yaka, Yathapal, Salaki Yathapal, Lalawa, Salaki Aka, Baka, Al, Wa'ayan, Iwad, it's like Iwada, Apas, Alahayim. All right, so that was verses 8 through 14. So now we're going to read those in the English and break it on down.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 8, it's like chapter 45, verse 8. Drop down, ye heavens, from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness.
So this is what the Most High is saying. He's saying, drop down, ye heavens from above, and let the skies pour down righteousness. Go ahead.
Let the earth open, and let them bring forth salvation, and let the righteousness spring up together. I, the Lord, have created it.
I who?
I, the Lord, have created it.
So now, remember, the verse prior to this, we just read that the Most High creates evil and creates good. He creates the light and he creates the darkness, right? So now the very next verse is verse 8. And what he's saying is, drop down ye heavens from above and let the skies pour down righteousness. What the Lord would rather do is provide righteousness and create righteousness. He would rather just create nothing but good, right? That's what he would rather do. But it's people like us when we're in the world, right? People like us when we're in the world, when we become filthy people, the Lord has to create evil for it, right? He has to create evil. Why? Because we have to get punished for what we've done. The Lord would rather not that, right? The Lord would rather that the skies rain down righteousness. He would rather those things, right? But what does the Bible say? In the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, he said, if you follow me, if you keep my laws, statutes, and commandments, I'll set you on high above everybody, right? Black people are at the bottom now in America. That's just the truth. There is nobody that's more destitute and poor and destroyed than black people in America. When I say black, I'm talking about the Hispanics too. They jammed up at the border right now. You know what I'm saying? The Native Americans got pushed up on the reservations where there's no running water. You get what I'm saying? Right? So we as a nation are destroyed, and we're on the bottom. Why? Because we haven't followed the Most High. And so that's why he had to give us what? Wickedness. He had to give us evil. He gave us evil. Those reservations are evil. No running water. You talking about no AC? And them reservations are in some of the hottest parts of the country, right? And then don't get me started on the projects in America with these slumlords, with these Jewish slumlords, right, ruling over our people. Like, think about that. Think about having to turn the goddamn oven on to heat your house up, right? Like, think about the lifestyle that our people live. The Lord created that. Why? To snap us out of this condition that we've been in, right? Get your mind together. You get what I'm saying? And that's the point. Right. And that's why a lot of people that you see come into the truth, that they wasn't born rich, right? They wasn't born with a silver spoon. They were born absolutely destitute. And the reason why they were searching for something is because what they had definitely wasn't enough. They didn't have running water in their houses. They didn't have electricity and AC in the summer. You get what I'm saying? Or heat in the winter, right? So they were searching for something. And that's the point of the Lord punishing you, is to make you search for the truth. That's what the Lord wants you to do, right? So that's why the Lord here is saying that he would rather that he drops down righteousness from the heavens, because he wants to see us thrive. He's a father, remember that. And any good father wants to see their son thrive. But he's not going to just, give it to you like that if you being a terrible son. You got to punish you first so you can learn your lesson, what? The hard way. Right. And that's what he's done to us, right? All right, so keep reading.
Verse 40, verse 9. Woe unto him that striveth with his marker.
It's like his maker?
It's like his maker.
So now, what have we done in America? We have strove with the Most High God. What does it mean to strive? I don't even know if that's the proper past tense. I'm terrible with things like that. I don't know if it's striven or strove, whatever. We strive with the Most High. That's what we do, day in and day out. What does that mean to strive? To fight. We fight with the Most High constantly. I'm talking about people in the world. Our people in the world constantly fight against the Most High. Day in and day out, we're constantly fighting against the Most High and his authority, right? And so this is what the Most High said. He said, woe, meaning destruction. Destruction unto him that striveth with his maker. The Lord created us. The Lord made a nation out of us. And because we fight with him, fight against him, the Lord destroyed us for it. Keep going.
Right. Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds.
So what is a potsherd? Right? A potsherd, all it is basically just all it is like a broken piece of like a cup or a glass or whatever the case, right? Usually it's made out of like ceramic, right? So what he's saying is, let the potsherd strive with the potsherd, right? Or let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth, right? What is that talking about? Strive with the things that are equal unto you. You gonna say something? No? Let's strive with the people that are equal unto you, right? Man should strive with man, right? Man should not strive with God, because that's a battle that you're going to lose, right? I have a perfect precept for it. Give me Genesis, the 6th chapter, right? The Lord is saying this. He said, listen, he said, woe unto the man that strive with his maker, right? With his father, but let the potsherds strive with the potsherds of the earth. Meaning if you just the average nigga, the average Joe Smo, strive with the other Joe Smo. Don't strive with me. I'm the Most High God. I created you like this with my finger, right? I snapped my fingers and the angels came and formed you. I knew you before you was formed, right? So that's why he's saying, now give me Genesis, the 6th chapter and the 3rd verse.
Book of Genesis, chapter 6, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man.
So what did he say? Right? The Lord said this. Remember, this was at the time when the sons of God were getting together with the daughters of men. right? Two separate lineages that the Lord did not want to mix. He did not want to mix those lineages together. And because that happened, the Lord was angry. And this is the whole reason for the flood, because of interracial marriage. That's basically what it comes down to, is interracial marriage, right? And so what the Lord said is, he said, listen, my spirit shall not always strive with man. I'm not going to always fight with man. Go ahead.
For that he also is flesh.
He is what?
Flesh.
Listen, the Lord is not going to fight with us. He created us, right? You ever heard the saying, a parent will say this, usually it's a mother that says this, I brought you into this world, I could take you out. That's the way the Lord thinks. He's saying, I'm not going to fight and struggle with man because he is flesh. I'm the Most High God. Give me another one, Job 10, right? Give me Job, the 10th chapter, right? That's what this is talking about. You should strive with somebody that's on your same level. Another saying that you hear is fight with somebody your own size. Pick on somebody your own size, right? Fight somebody that's on the same level as you. You cannot fight God, right? Give me Job, the 10th chapter and the 8th verse.
Job chapter 10, verse 8. Thy hands have made me and fashioned me together round about.
Listen, this is Job acknowledging the fact that the Most High have made him, created him, right? Go ahead.
Yet thou dost destroy me.
Yet thou dost destroy me. Remember, I think we all know what happened to Job. Job was a rich man, absolutely rich. He was a wealthy brother, right? And because Satan wanted to tempt him, the Lord gave him gave Satan the go ahead. Go ahead and tempt that brother. I bet he's not gonna fold, right? What happened? Job lost his entire family, right? He lost his children, he lost his riches, he lost his cattle, his house, everything got burned up in a whirlwind, right? Out of nowhere. And Job was a faithful man. I mean, this man was absolutely upright in the sight of the Most High, right? And so because of that, Satan wanted to tempt him, right? Satan wanted to tempt him, and he did it. He tempted him real bad. And so now, because that happened, right, there's a whole 40 chapters of him going back and forth with him and his homeboys, right, about whether he did something or whether he didn't do something to deserve it. And so now what Job is saying here is that the Most High hath his hands have made me and fashioned me together round about, yet thou destroyest me, right? Keep going. Just verse 9.
Verse 9.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I beseech thee that thou hast made me as the clay, and wilt thou bring me unto dust again.
Unto what?
Unto dust again.
So now, listen, Job is saying this: you have formed me like the clay, like a potter forms a pot, right? You make, clay pots, right? And so he's saying this: you formed me into a beautiful pot. Now are you going to bring me back into that clay that you formed me from? Are you going to bring me back down into that dust? Right? That's what the Lord has the power to do. Remember, we're talking about the Lord having the power to kill and make alive.
It's like
to form. Go ahead.
It's like it's right here. You know what's crazy about that is that clay comes from the dust. So it's like, it's just beautiful in the way we speak, right? It's just the metaphor in it, right? And clay came from, basically, what Job said was, right, that thou has what? So like, hold on. Made me as the clay, right? He formed him, right?
Mm-hmm.
From the dust, from the condition, from a low state, made him to be a man that he is today, and he brought him back to the condition,
Mm-hmm.
which is what the Lord is saying. I gave you this knowledge, I gave you this truth, and I brought you out of this condition, but now I could bring you back. Right, which is what the metaphor that Job is using. Right,
and that's a heavy cut too. Don't ever think that the Most High ain't gonna take you out of your whatever power that you have, whatever riches that you have. You think you having a good day today? Listen, the Lord can make that day into a terrible day for you. You get what I'm saying? And that's what we always got to remember. It's not to make you hate God. It's to make you fear God. Because if you absolutely fear God, then you're not going to do anything to go up against him for him to make you have a bad day. The Lord can make you bountiful and plenteous, right? Or he can make you destitute, like how most of us grow up. You get what I'm saying? He can do one of the two, right? It's up to you. And that's the point, right? So now let's go back to, you can take me back to verse 10 in Isaiah 45.
Isaiah, verse 45. So like chapter 45, verse 10. So like, I think it was verse 10. Woe unto him that saith unto his father, what beggest thou?
And now, once again, I always call the Most High the Father, right? We all call the Most High the Father. Take that literally. And the Most High is about to give you a literal metaphor, right? Go ahead. Read it from the top again.
Woe unto him that saith unto his father, what beggest thou?
Begettest thou. Go ahead.
Begettest thou.
Mm-hmm.
Or to the woman, what hast thou brought forth?
Right. So now this is saying, who are you to question your mother or your father, right? Who are you to question your mother? They brought you into this world, right? And we're going to see the Most High explain it a little bit more in verse 11. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord, the Holy One of Israel, and his maker.
Right. And his maker, talking about Israel's maker. The Lord created Israel. Go ahead.
Ask me of things to come concerning my son, and concerning the works of my hands, command ye me.
Now watch, he's going to explain to you his position. Go ahead.
I have made the earth and created man upon it. I, even my hands, have stretched out the heavens, and all their host have I commanded.
So now this is the Most High flexing, right? When I say flexing, I'm not talking about the vain way that niggas do today. I'm talking about the Lord is telling you, who the hell are you to question me? That's what God is saying. Who are we to question the Most High in any of his decisions? If he decided that you should be born a crack baby, he decided that for a good reason, right? If he decided that you should be in a certain condition, that's his decision. Who are you to question the Most High that created the very earth that we stand on today, right? We don't have that's not our place to question the Most High. That's why he's kind of going into this explanation to prove to us that we don't get to question God, right? Because what did he do directly before he made this statement? He brought us out of the captivity of the Babylonians, which is one of the harshest captivities. If you know anything about the Babylonian captivity, they was raping us and they was doing all sort of terrible things to us and our people, right? That's why if you go back into the book of Revelation, they call America the daughter of Babylon, because the same things that they was doing in that Babylon in that time, in Isaiah's time, it's the same thing that they're doing today in America. The same way that they were raping men in Babylon, in that Babylonian captivity, right? And taking our babies, and they were killing our babies. And I mean, not just, euthanasia. I'm talking about throwing them up in the sky and hitting them with rocks. That's what they was doing to us. And now you see the same thing happening in our captivity in America. They was using our babies as alligator bait and raping our men. You get what I'm saying? And so those are the same things that are happening. So the Most High is saying, don't question me, because I brought you out of this Babylonian captivity. And the same way he did that then is the same way he's going to do it with America. The difference is this is going to be the last captivity that we're going to be in, right? That's prophesied in the book of Revelation and the book of Isaiah and the book of Jeremiah and Ezekiel, right? And the book of Daniel as well, right? All throughout the Bible, it's prophesied that this captivity today is the last captivity that we'll be in, right? And in 2nd Ezra too. You get what I'm saying? But that's the point, right? And so that's what the Lord is doing. Keep going.
Verse 13. I have raised him up in righteousness, and I will direct all his ways. He shall build my city, and he shall let go my captives.
He said, he shall let go my captives. Go ahead.
Not for price nor reward, said the Lord of hosts. Thus the Lord, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabians, men of stature, men of stature shall come over unto thee and shall be thine.
Now that's a beautiful thing, because the Lord is telling the children of Israel that the labor of Egypt and the merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabians, men of stature, men of renown, right? They shall come over unto thee and they shall be thine. Meaning what? We're going to possess them. That's what the Bible says. Keep going.
They shall come after thee in chains. They shall come over. They shall come over, and they shall fall down unto thee.
They shall do what?
They shall fall down unto thee.
So now these people are going to come to us in chains, and they're going to fall down unto us, meaning bow down unto the ground. Go ahead.
They shall make supplication unto thee.
And they're going to make offerings unto us. Go ahead.
Saying, surely God is not, surely God is in thee.
So it's saying, surely God is in thee, meaning these people are going to know that the Most High God is with the children of Israel because of our status at that point. Keep going.
And there is none else. There is no God.
There is no God besides the Most High. Give me Isaiah the 14th chapter, just to back this up, right? This is just a small point that I want to make. I know we're running out of time. I got a whole nother 7 verses that I want to get to as well. So, but I do want to make this small point because this is a heavy thing that the Most High said. The Most High prophesied to the children of Israel that we are going to be in rulership and that there are all these men of statures, right? All these men of stature, these kings, these queens, they're going to come unto us and they're going to bow down unto us, right? Give me Isaiah the 14th chapter. We start at the top.
For the Lord will, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall join with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
So the Lord is going to put us in our own land. He's going to give us our own land, the children of Israel, right? And the strangers are going to cleave unto us, meaning they're going to attach unto us, right? Keep going.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their places, to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them.
Shall do what?
Shall possess them.
So we're going to possess all of those strangers, right? Go ahead.
In the land of the Lord. For servants and handmaids.
For servants and handmaids. Meaning these people are going to now become subservient unto us. Aren't we servants and handmaids to our oppressor today? That's what we are today. We as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are servants and handmaids to our oppressor today, right? But the Lord said that he's going to make a 360 or a 180, I guess is the better way to say that, right? He's going to turn it around. Instead of us serving them, they're going to serve us. And that's going to be evident in just a second. Keep going.
Right. And they shall take them captives whose captives they were.
Keep going.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
So now it says they shall take them captives whose captives they were. Who are we in captivity under right now? We're under the captivity of the so-called white man, right? And so we now, instead of us being their captives, they're now going to be our captives. And what does it also say? It says that they shall rule over their oppressors. Well, who is oppressing us? Every nation. You name me one nation that's not oppressing us right now. The so-called Chinese come into our neighborhoods and oppress us, right? Ask Latasha Harlins. She got murdered she didn't even steal nothing, but they accused her of stealing. And that damn Korean pulled out a shotgun and blasted her face wide open. That's what they've done to us. They oppressed, and guess whose neighborhood? Was that in the Korean neighborhood? No, that was in South Central LA, a Black neighborhood. They come into our neighborhoods and oppress us, right? So that's why the scriptures say it's going to be a complete turnaround. We're going to rule over our oppressors. That's exactly what Isaiah the 45th chapter is saying, but let's take it a step further. Keep going.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow.
So listen, that's going to be the Lord. How else are we going to get rest here? By being equal? You think we're getting rest by, being equal with white people, right? With a nation that's so base, with a nation that does all of the manner of evil under the face of the sun, right? That being equal is not what the Lord wants for us, right? We got to require something bigger. Remember, Martin Luther King wanted equality. And what happened with that? The brother got murdered, unfortunately. But he said before he died, he said, I feel that I've integrated my people into a burning house. Even Martin Luther King understood that equality isn't what's necessary for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You get what I'm saying? And so the Lord knows even better. Trust that. The Lord knows better than Martin Luther King. The Lord is saying that the way that we're going to get rest from our sorrow, what is sorrow? Sadness. What do you wake up every morning as a slave in this country? You wake up sad or angry. Either one is good. It's all happening, right? the Lord is going to give us rest from that. By how? By having us rule over our oppressors. Keep going.
Right. It's like,
You can
and
start.
from it's like,
Go ahead. It's like,
and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou hast made to serve.
so ask the majority of blacks and Hispanics, who are they serving? Not a lot of us have a successful, black-owned business that we're working for, that we've created. Most of us are working under our oppressor. And so the Lord is going to give us rest from the hard bondage wherein we were made to serve. What is that bondage that we're made to serve? Not only did we do it when we built this country up, but we're still doing it today. You think you working for a white company today is not building up white America and building up America? Anytime that you go in and you work at these places, not to say you shouldn't, you got to make money because we're slaves here. But the point is, anytime that you go and you work in these places, you're building up a white man's empire. You don't get to build up your own empire. Go ahead.
It's like if I could, and even if you do get your own, business, which that's you should, get your own business. They still tax you on a bunch of, every little thing, whether it be your, the place that you're holding your own business in, to insurance and all that. So it's like even having your own little company, your own little food truck, or whatever you may have, you're still being oppressed on. You still have to pay so much more to the white man rather than giving that to your children.
Right. No, damn
Like,
right. Even this place, listen, this is a little sanctuary. Like the book of Ezekiel calls this place a little sanctuary in the land that the Lord has cast us out to, in the land of our oppression, the land of our captivity. Well, guess what? You think we ain't got to pay insurance on this place and property tax, and we ain't got to pay rent here? Like, this is something that we have to do, right? And we have to do this. Why? Because this is the hard bondage wherein we were made to serve. We got to work a white man's job to pay a white man so that way we can serve the Lord in this place. You get what I'm saying? Now think about how ridiculous that sounds. That's why the Lord hates this place so much. He hates America so much because of the fact that this is what we have to do in order to serve God, right? So that's the point, right? So the Lord is going to give us what? He's going to give us recompense for the things that we've had to serve here, right? Now we're not going to be the ones serving. We're going to be the ones being served. So you can take me, Slack, you going to say something else?
I was going to say, that's a revelation that will be revealed, in the end of time.
No, damn right. Damn right. Let me see if I can, if we got time. Let me see where we at. We read up to 14, right? So I'm going to read, I don't want to hold nobody too long, right? But I just want to read the next 7 verses. So I'm going to do it in the Hebrew real quick. Isaiah, the 45th chapter, the 15th verse. Akan, Atha, Al, Masaf, Thara, Alahaya, Yasha'ala, Mawash Ya'ai, verse 16. Bawashwa, Wagal, Nakal, Mawa, Kalam, Yakadwa, Halakwa, Bakal Ma'a, it's like a Bakal Ma, Karasha, Tazayaryam, verse 11. It's like it, verse 17. So like it. Yasha'ala, Nawashai, by Yahweh, Thasha, it's like it, Thashawaitha, Awalumium, La'a, Thabashwa, Wala'a, Thakamawa, Id, Iwalumium, it's like I'm Iwalumya, Id, verse 18, Kaya, Ka, Omar Yahweh, Bara'a, it's like Hashamium, Hawa, Ha'alahayim, Yatazar, Ha'aratazar, Wa'aisha, Hawa'a, Kawanna, La'a, it's like Thahawa, Bara'a, Lashabath, Yatazara, Anya, Yahweh, Wa'ayan, Iwad, verse 19, La'a, Basathar, Debarthaya, but it's like Bamaquawam, Arazaza, Kashak, La'a, Martha Yah, Lazarai, it's like a Yaquab, Thawa, Bakwash, it's like a Bakwash, it's like a Bakwash, Wanaya, Anya, Yahweh, Debar, Tazadak, Magayad, Mayashayim, verse 20, Hakwa, it's like a Hakwa, Batazawa, Waba'awa, Hathan, Gashawa, Yakadwa, Palayat, it's like a Palayatya, it's like a Hagayim, La'ah, Yadaiwa, Hanash Ayam, Af, Aitazah, it's like a Pasalma, it's like a Wama, Thapal, Layam, Al, Ala'ah, Yawash, it's like a Yawasha'ai, verse 21. Salakia, Hagayadwa, Wahaga, Yeshawa, Apa, Yawa Aitazawa, Yakadwa, Maya, Hashamya, it's like a Hashamyai, Za'af, Makwad, it's like Makwad, it's like a Makwadma, Ma'azah, Hagay, it's like a Hagayat, it's like a Hagayada, Alawa, Anya, Yahweh, Wa'ayan, Iwad, Alahayim, Mabal, Idya, Al, it's like a Tazayad, it's like a Tazadayak, it's like a Wamawash, Ya'ai, Ayan, it's like a Zawal Thayah. All right, so that's verses 15 through 21. Those will be the last 7 verses that we read. We're gonna read them in the English now. You can go ahead and whenever you got it, 45 and 15.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 15. Verily, thou art a God that hiddest thyself, O God of Israel.
So it says, verily, thou art a God that hidest hidest thyself, O God of Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them.
So this is talking about all the other nations. Remember, we just read how the other nations are going to come to us and serve us. Just in the previous verse, you can go back into verse 14 and you can see the other nations are going to come up to us and say, surely God is with y'all because we servants up unto you, right? And so then, of course, going into 15, it says, verily, thou art a God that hidest thyself, O God of Israel, the Savior. And verse 16 says, they shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. Every other nation is going to be ashamed and confounded. Go ahead.
They shall go to confusion together,
Mm-hmm.
that are makers of idols.
Them that are makers of idols, go ahead, which is all the other nations. They don't have the God of Israel. They don't have the God that we have.
Right.
So what do? They go and make idols unto themselves to serve, right?
Right.
Now, you ever notice, like, these other nations, you get this from other nations, the stones. Anybody ever seen somebody, they worship the stones and they got all these different, the chakras and all of that. And they worship those things because they don't have the Most High God. The Most High God, you don't need chakras. You don't need to balance your chakras to serve God, right? You need to stop being a wicked sinner to serve God.
Right.
And then the Lord is going to show you through his prophecy and through his word how to be a balanced person. It doesn't matter. Them chakras don't matter. And them stones ain't helping you at all. Lucky. Let's go ahead, Sluggy.
What's that one thing where it's like they're burning incense, but it's something else.
You talking about burning sage?
Sage,
Yeah,
right?
that's not. You're not getting rid of demons with that sage,
right? They think that burning sage. Oh, Mexicans have this thing where it's like they feel like, okay, it's this thing where they get an egg, right, and they'll be saying prayers, and they'll rub the egg all around you,
Yeah.
and they'll crack the egg, so all the bad aura or all the bad, all that bad vibes basically is inside the egg, and it's released, and they leave it there for I forget how many days. It's that one and another one where you'll see them wearing a red bracelet.
Mhm.
A red bracelet for they say pa que no te den ojo. Ojo is like so they won't like curse you.
Yeah.
So you'll see them on some Mexicans, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like a red bracelet or whatever, and it's like that signifies so nobody can come up to them and give them bad luck or curse them or whatnot. So we believe in things like those, but really that doesn't help you when you're not on the right side of the Most High.
Right.
When like the Most High in Deuteronomy 11, I believe it says 11 and 26, a blessing and a cursing shall be thou, because a blessing if you serve me, as your God, and it's like a blessing if you serve me, and a curse if you go after other gods.
Right.
And that's what we have done. And those things, that's not the work of our God. That's the work of these of whatever they believe in, right? Whatever that comes from.
No, damn right. Even the Haitians, right? So-called Haitians, right? The tribe of Levi. When they was whooping the hell out of the French in that land, they was saying that voodoo is what helped them whoop the French. Remember, there was a whole revolution. Y'all, anybody know about the Haitian Revolution? There was a whole revolution against the French that was in that land. And I'm gonna give it to them. Listen, the Haitians whooped the hell out of that Frenchman, right? They got on them boats and went back over the French. And what did they do? Immediately they said it was because of voodoo. Like voodoo helped them out. Just like how anybody, you got so-called bad spirits in your house or whatever you want to call it. You run a bundle of sage through there, burn a bundle of sage through there, and you think that's gonna get rid of them spirits. Well, guess what? Aaron's sons got swallowed up by the earth because they burned strange incense unto the Most High. You can't just burn whatever sage or whatever plant that you want to burn and say this is for the Most High, right? The Lord gave us. We was burning frankincense and myrrh in here just a minute ago. Frankincense and myrrh is what the Lord ordained us to burn. Those are the incense that we should burn, and then different incenses when during certain sacrifices and this, that, and the third. But He never ordained us to burn sage to get rid of spirits in your house. Right. What did He tell you to do to get rid of spirits in your house? Told you to check yourself. Check yourself and pray consistently, right? Because remember, this is what we got to remember about those. I don't want to go too far off. The Most High is not a vain God. He's not going to tell you to burn sage to get rid of demons.
Or wash yourself.
Or wash yourself with water to get rid of demons. Listen, you have to, that comes from your mind. You got demons in your house. You better check something about you, right? And that's the point, right? No sage is going to save you from anything, right? So let's take it back. All right. Read 16 again, too.
Verse 16. They shall be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. They shall go to confusion together that are makers of idols.
Go ahead.
But Israel
Go ahead.
shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation.
So them other nations, they're not going to be saved, right? Them other nations, they're going to be ashamed and they're going to be confounded because the Lord is going to put us over them. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Keep going.
Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end.
This is what the Lord said. The Lord said that the children of Israel should not be ashamed or confounded. Give me Psalm the 25th chapter. And then He also called us the world without end. Anybody ever try to bring to you John 3:16, where God so loved the world? This is the world that the Most High is talking about. And that's evident all throughout the Bible. It ain't just got to be in Isaiah the 45th chapter. It can be in Amos the 3rd chapter. It can be in 2nd Ezra the 6th chapter. It can be all throughout. I can give you all of the precepts for it, right? The Lord constantly tells you that He's choosing Israel to be saved and none else. You want to say something?
Sorry, what was it?
Psalms the 25th chapter. I just want to talk about this, right? So this is, I'm gonna bring to you a prayer of David, right? David said a prayer unto the Most High, which is extremely similar to what we just read in Isaiah the 45th chapter, right? And then give me verse 2.
Oh my God, I trust in Thee. Let me not be ashamed. let not my enemies triumph over me.
So this is what David is praying to the Most High. He's saying, let me not be ashamed. Remember, the enemy is supposed to be ashamed. Every other nation is supposed to be ashamed. That's what the Bible just said, right? But he's saying, let me not be ashamed and let not mine enemies triumph over me. Remember, a lot of the Psalms, people look at the Psalms like it's such a sweet, happy book. The book of the Psalms was written when David was at war with the other nations. If you look into the history of it and read the Psalms, period, you can see that David was at war with his enemies when he was writing these things. And so he's writing these things as a prayer unto the Most High. That's why he said, oh my God, I trust in thee, and let me not be ashamed, and let not my enemies triumph over me. Go ahead.
Right. Yea, let none that wait on thee be ashamed.
So let none that wait on thee be ashamed. In ISUPK, we wait on the Lord. We don't wait on any idol. We don't wait on anybody else. And we, to the T, serve the Most High God. To the T. Absolutely down to the bone, we serve God. That's who David is praying for. David is praying for them that wait on the Most High. Let them not be ashamed. Right? Keep going.
Right. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause.
Let them be ashamed that transgress without cause. Everybody else. That's what that's saying. Everybody else, let them be ashamed. Right? Now you can take me back to Isaiah the 45th chapter, right?
Right.
Let everybody else that doesn't keep the law of the Most High, that doesn't care about serving God, that's not with the one body that Christ commanded that we should have, let them be ashamed. Right? But those that come into the one body of Christ, they shall never be ashamed, nor confounded, that world without end. Let me get verse 18. All right, I ain't trying to hold y'all up for too long. I'm gonna get this last couple of verses done, and then we'll be out of here.
For thus saith the Lord that created the heavens, God himself that formed the earth and made it. He hath established it. He hath created not in vain.
He had what?
He hath created it not in vain.
So the Lord didn't create the world in vain. Let's remember that. This earth is here for a purpose.
Right.
This earth serves a purpose. Remember that. The Lord didn't. What does vain mean? Vain means for nothing, right? For naught, right? But keep going.
Right. He formed it inhabited.
To be inhabited. Go ahead.
To be inhabited.
He formed it to be inhabited. Now let's see what this is talking about. Give me 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. All right, in the Apocrypha. 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter. Give me the 55th verse. Right? Because we just read that the Lord did not create the world in vain. He didn't create this place for no reason. Let's see why he created it. Give me 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, verse 55.
2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou hast made us the world for our sake.
For whose sake?
For our sakes.
The brother that's writing this, Esdras, he is an Israelite. This is an Israelite brother. And if you read, we could read 54 and 56 all the way through. It's talking about the fact that the Most High created the earth for the one chosen people that he created it for. Remember, the Most High has a chosen people, right? He chose Israel. We just read that in Isaiah the 14th chapter. I will yet choose Israel. It's all throughout the Bible. It's not just Isaiah the 14th chapter. But why did the Most High make the world? Why did he create the world? Well, we just read, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Right? So now you can take me back. I just wanted to get a real quick precept, right? Because Isaiah just said he has established it. He have not created it in vain. This world is not created for no reason. It's created for us, for our sakes, for us to reign in this place. I think we got to make sure that we remember that too, that this walk that we're in is not for us to, just be, say I love God and that's it and go home, right? This is about us gaining rulership over the other nations, being on top, being on high. There's a reward for serving the Most High God. Right. And the Lord has made that reward from the beginning. It was always meant to be for us, right? So now you can take it back. Give me verse 19 in Isaiah 45.
Verse 19. I have not spoken in secret in a dark place of the earth. I said unto the seed of Jacob, seek ye me in vain. Seek ye me in vain. I, the Lord, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right.
So listen, this is the Most High saying this. He said, I have not spoken in secret. This isn't a secret thing. This Bible's been on everybody's, dresser for years. You go into a hotel, there's a Gideon's Bible in the drawer, right? There's always a Bible. The scriptures say this: seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. That's what you have to do. But most of us don't do that, right? Most of our people, our brothers and sisters in the world, they would rather not do that. They don't seek the Most High God, right? But the Most High God is not speaking in secret. It's right here in front of your face. And some people have read the Bible from front to back, from Genesis to Revelation, and still don't understand because they have a veil over their face of what's to be understood about the Bible. If you grew up a Christian, you read John 3:16, and you just disregard the fact that in Isaiah the 14th chapter it says, "Prepare slaughter for his children."
Right.
You would disregard the fact that in Isaiah the 66th chapter it says that the Most High is going to come back and kill all those that he deport, right? But you read John 3:16 under the Christian mindset, and you're going to say, "Well, God loves everybody," right? You're gonna override the fact that Obadiah, the first chapter in the 10th verse, says that Esau shall be cut off forever. Right. You're gonna override in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, in the 13th verse, that Most High hates Esau. But you're gonna read John 3:16 and say God loves everybody because that's what you've been taught. Right. You have to take that out of your narrative. You got to read the Bible without a narrative and just read it for what it is, and then it'll make sense to you, right? And it has to be taught to you, right? The scriptures say before you can be teachers of the word, you must first needs be taught again. You got to be taught this Bible. You can't just pick it up and read it and say, okay, I understand what that means. If everybody did that, there'd be a million religions. Guess what? There is a million religions because everybody picks up the Bible and thinks they know what they're talking about. You gonna say something?
Yeah, it's basically like saying, oh yeah, I'm a doctor now just because I could, heal some wounds or whatnot. Like just so you can put a Band-Aid on a wound. Like nobody can just be a doctor. You got to go through. You got to study to be a doctor. Yeah, just like an engineer, you got to study to be that. Just like to pick up this Bible, and to be a prophet, you gotta go through. You gotta study, right? You gotta go through the ISUPK and understand the teachings of what. What the scriptures are saying.
It's like if I could
go ahead.
Imagine coming into this building, and I made this building. I put the 2x4s up and put the drywall up. And then you ask me, do you have a degree in engineering? Do you have a degree in anything that goes with building buildings? And I say, nah. I kind of taught myself. You get the hell up out of here, right? Because you couldn't trust the foundation of this place. If I built this myself and I taught myself how to build houses, that's ridiculous. You have to have a foundation, and the foundation is what you must learn from somebody else. Nobody can teach themselves anything, right? When it comes to serving God, you can't teach yourself, right? Because that's what Christians have done, and then they go in there and hoot and holler. There's a Christian church next door, and they go in there and they hoot and holler and bang tamarines and all of that, but they don't serve God because they don't understand what it means. God, I don't blame them. It's just they taught themselves. It's like I didn't mean to cut you off like that. So like
Christ said it too. Like he that does not gather with me is against me. Or if you don't come with Christ, like there's only one body. First of all, even in Ephesians 4:4, it will tell you right how there's only one body, one doctrine, one way to live, one way to serve the Most High. And there's not many breakoffs of what an Israelite can do or be and this and that. There's only one way to serve the Most High, and it is under Commander Yohanan because he was given the right to lead the nation of Israel under Christ, right? Because every other nation, they'll go over and they'll fall over to what? Oh, well, white people can be doing now, or Africans can be part of our, our organization, and then you'll have missing sisters, or you'll have, pedophiles in there thinking that they can sleep with, young women. Which is wrong, but that's why it's very important that who you're dealing with when you come in and finding the truth according to these scriptures, and who has the basically who can read you the blueprints the way you need to it needs to be read, right, rather than their own interpretation and this and that. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, damn right. And that's kind of the point, right? That's why when we we don't do what Christian pastors do. They'll read 2 verses out of the Bible and they'll talk for the next 2 or 3 hours. You get what I'm saying? That's why I try to I'll be kind of beating myself up about it because I think I talk too much. Even though I'm breaking down the scriptures, I'm trying to get through this whole goddamn chapter. And me and this brother up here, it's just too much. You get what I'm saying? But point being is, that's the point, right? The scriptures say this in Ephesians, the 4th chapter. There is only one body and one faith. There is not two truths. You can't say, okay, this place has a little bit of truth and that place has a little bit of truth. There's only one truth. I mean, listen, anybody can decide it for themselves, but the Lord decides what the truth is, right? So that's the point, right? But let's take it back. Let's take it back to where we was. Give me where we left off. Just call it.
I, the Lord, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Verse 20. Assemble yourselves and come. Draw near together. Yea. Ye that are escaped of the nations, they have not. Ye that escape the nations, ye have no knowledge, that set up the wood of their graven image, and pray unto a God that cannot save.
That what?
And pray unto a God that cannot save.
All of these other idols, man. Give me a Habakkuk 2:19. All of these other idols, man, that these other nations they pray to, we try to cleave unto them. What's the main one that we try to cleave unto as black people in America? We try to cleave unto Islam. And so they pray to that goddamn Kaaba stone and think that Kaaba stone is going to save them out of the captivity that they're in and the oppression that they're under, right?
Right.
And so remember, Malcolm even went and did it, and he was like, damn, this don't make too much sense. After he made his so-called Hajj, right? He went out there to Mecca and prayed to that stone, and I can only imagine. He was like, what the hell am I doing? And you got to kiss the stone. Remember that. That stone, that Kaaba stone that millions of people have put their mouths on, yeah, you got to kiss that stone too. That you got to circle it 7 times and then put your mouth on the thing that everybody else has put their mouth on. That's what you got to do in order to serve Allah, right? In order to serve Islam and to be a Muslim. Malcolm went and did that. And when he came back to the Americas after that, something changed about him. I'm pretty sure, because any nigga with a little bit of sense in him, like, that don't make too much sense to me. They don't sit right with me. And then, of course, he started exposing the Nation of Islam and all of that, right? But that's what we do. We cleave unto these other nations. You know how many black people I know that are Buddhists? How ridiculous is that? Buddhists. And the reason why black people want to become Buddhists is because Buddhism tells you that you can do whatever you want and love everybody. It's the same thing as Christianity. It's just you don't want to be called a Christian. You want to be something more spiritual, so-called, right? So you call yourself a Buddhist. That's what happens to our people, right? But let's see what the Bible says about those other religions, right? Give me Habakkuk 2:12.
2:12.
That's like a 2:19. It's like
Habakkuk 2:19. Woe unto them. It's like, woe unto him that said to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise. It shall teach.
That's what Muslims do. Muslims pray to that stone. And you know what? When it says to the dumb stone arise, they're praying to that stone to save them out of their condition. When black people go and make their so-called Hajj, and then when they try to focus on Islam and being a Muslim, they are praying that Muhammad and that stone is going to save them out of the condition that they're in. The problem is that stone can do nothing. Why? Keep going.
Right. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it.
And there is no breath. There's no life in it, right? Remember, the Most High gave us the breath of life, which is this truth. He gave us that breath of life, right? There's no stone or no rock or no piece of wood, right? A lot of our brothers and sisters worship that cross, wear it like it means that they're holy and saved, right? There is no breath or life in those things. There's no life in serving a stone. And listen, this is how the Most High is. He hardcore with it, right? Because he said to the dumb stone. You wonder why we go so hard on Islam. I got a class that I'm gonna teach on Islam, right? And I'm gonna prove Islam to be a fallacy and garbage for black people, right? But point being is, that's how the Most High goes at it. He calls that Mecca, that stone in Mecca, a dumb stone, because it's a dumb stone. What is it? Right. It's a piece of rock that the Most High created, right? And the reason, just to give you a little bit, like I said, I'm gonna teach a class on it probably next week or the week after, right? But the reason why they serve that stone like that, the Kaaba stone, is because they believe that that's the same stone. Muhammad created Islam based off of an asteroid hitting the earth, asteroid, or what do you call it? A meteorite, hitting the earth. And he believed that that was the Most High God, right? He believed that that stone was the Most High God. So wherever that stone landed, now the thing is that Kaaba stone in Mecca, that's not the same meteorite. That meteorite is long gone, right? But they worship that stone because they believe that God sent that stone from space, and it's all it is just a meteorite. I mean, if you know a little bit about science, I mean, you might be able to understand that, right? But point being is, they pray to that thing. They pray to that thing and worship it and walk around it 7 times and give it a kiss. Well, listen, man, that's not the God that we serve. Keep going. Take me back. Let's get the last verse. I know we're a little bit over. The last verse in 45. We'll just do 21.
Verse 21. Tell ye and bring them near. Yea, let them take counsel together who had declared this from ancient time, who had told it from that time. Have not I the Lord?
So now this is a question that the Most High is asking. He's saying, tell all of them that worship them idols, all of them that worship the stone and the wood, bring them near. Yea, and let them take counsel together. Let them counsel and reason with each other. Who have declared this from ancient time? And who hath told it from that time? Have not I the Lord? The Lord, of course, that's a rhetorical question. Of course the Lord did it, right? Keep going.
There is no God else beside me.
There is no God besides the Most High God. Not Allah, not Buddha, not, the Hindu gods, not Krishna, not any of these other gods. Keep going.
And just God and a Savior. There is none beside me.
Listen, there is no God that we can worship that's going to save us. Now, you can worship the Kaaba stone. You can worship Buddhism. You can worship Hinduism, right? You can worship all of those things, but guess what? All that is to pacify you, just like Christianity.
Right.
Walk into that Christian church, and they just going to pacify you and tell you that God loves you no matter what you do. Well, guess what? You're going to come in here and you're going to realize there are things that you've been doing wrong. And you're going to have to humble yourself to learn that what you've been doing is wrong. Let's fix it. It's that simple. And that's what the Most High wants from you. The Most High just wants you to fix your problems. Otherwise, he's going to continue punishing you for the things that you've been doing and you will not stop doing. Right? So with that, like I said, I know we ran over. We got to get the prayers again real quick. So just anybody that's watching online, our class schedule is at the bottom of the screen. It's, of course, every Tuesday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. And then every Sabbath, of course, which is today, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. And then our address is also posted down below us. So just men up here. We're going to close out the Sabbath service. Here, I might just want to stand. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get the prayers in. So, just like before, I imagine what Panyag was done, which means to stand and face to east. We get the prayers again before we close out the Sabbath.
We're gonna read the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa,
Shabbat Shemayim, Kodat, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwavka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharatza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Lathananaw, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakinaw, Kawawathinaw, Wasalakinaw, Kawawathinaw, Wala'ah, Tabayanaw, Banasai 1, Abal, Awashinaw, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwat, Wa'ala, Wa'ata, Parat, I will Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We're going to get it's like Hakat, which is the power. Yahweh.
Ba'Shem
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Babakasha.
Babakasha.
Babakasha,
Nathananao.
Thundernaw,
Akak.
Akak,
Akak.
Akak,
Larapa'a.
Larapa'a,
Kalmaika Allah.
Carmichael Allah,
Wakal.
Wakal,
Madawa.
Manawa,
Akak.
Akak,
Latahar.
Latahar,
Hamatazarium.
Hamatazarium,
Akak.
Akak,
Lakwayam.
Akwayam,
Mahatyam.
Matyam,
Hakak.
Akak,
Al.
Al,
Rakawat.
Wakawa,
Hamata Allah.
Fatima Allah,
Lagarshan.
Lagarshan,
Bashem Yahushai.
Hashem Yahushai,
The water Aman.
the water of money. All right, in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh
In the
Shai,
name of Yahweh Shai.
please give us the power,
Please give us the power.
the power to heal all manner of sickness
The power to heal all manner of sickness.
and all manner of disease,
And all manner of disease.
the power to cleanse the
The
lepers,
power to cleanse the lepers.
the power to raise the
The
dead,
power to raise the dead.
the power against unclean spirits,
The power against unclean spirits.
to cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahweh
In
Shai.
the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Asha'ah.
Asha'ar,
Ayanya.
Ayanya,
Al.
Al,
Baharyam.
Aharyam,
Ma'ayan.
Mayan,
Yabya'ah.
Yabaya,
Azaria.
Isaiah,
Azaria.
Isaiah.
Ma'aim.
La'im,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Ashah.
Ashar,
Shamayam.
Shamayam,
Wa'aratza.
Waratazar,
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan,
Lamawat.
Lamawat,
Ragalka.
Regalka,
Al.
Al,
Yanawam.
Yanawam,
Shamarka.
Shamarka,
Hana.
Hana,
La'a.
La'a.
Yanawam.
Yanawam,
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yayashan.
Yayishan,
Shawamar.
Shawamar,
Yashra'ala.
Asha'ala,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Shamarka.
Shamarka,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Tazalka.
Tazalka,
Al-Yad.
Ayah,
Yamyaka.
Yamika,
Yawamam.
Yawamam,
Hashamash.
Hashamash,
La'a.
La'a,
Yakaka.
Yakika,
Wayarak.
Wayarak,
Balayala.
Walayala,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka,
Makal.
Makal,
Rai.
Rai,
Yashamar.
Yashamar,
Athnapashka.
Adnapashka,
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
Yashamar.
Yashamar,
Taza'athka.
Taza'athka,
Waba.
Waba,
Wa'aka.
Wa'aka,
Ma'aitha.
Ma'aitha,
Wa'ai.
Wa'ai,
Awalam.
I will lump. Psalms 121st chapter in the English. I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh,
My help cometh from Yahweh,
which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
He that keepeth thee will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Yasha'Allah
he that keepeth Yashra'ala
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in
from this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. Psalms the 83rd. Alahayim.
Allahayim,
Al.
Al.
Damaya.
Damaya,
Laka.
Laka,
Al.
Al.
Takaraj.
Takaraj,
Wa'al.
Wa'al.
Tashakwat.
Shakwat,
Al.
Al.
Kaya.
Kaya,
Hana.
Hana,
Awa.
Awa,
Yabyaka.
Yabika,
Yahama.
Yahama,
Yawan.
Yawan,
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash,
Al.
Al,
Amaka.
Imaka,
Ya'ira.
Ya'ira,
Yamawa.
Yamawa,
Sawada.
Sawada,
Waya. So like Wayatha.
Wayatha,
Ya'itazawa.
Ya'itazaw,
Al.
Al,
Tazapa.
Tazapa,
Wanyaka.
Wanyaka,
Amarwa.
Amarwa,
Lakawa.
Lakawa,
Wana.
Wana,
Kakidam.
Kakidam,
Magaya.
Magawya,
Wala'a.
Wala'a,
Yazakar.
Yazakar,
Shamyashra'ala.
Shamya Sha'ala,
Awada.
Awada,
Kaya.
Kaya,
Nawaitazawa.
Nawaitazaw,
Laba.
Laba,
Lakadwa.
Lakabwa,
Alyaka.
Ayaka,
Baryat.
Baryat,
Yaka.
Yaka,
Rathwa.
Rathwa,
Ahalya.
Ahoya,
Damayam.
Damayam,
Adawam.
Adawam,
Wa.
Wa,
Yashamai.
Yashamai,
Alayam.
Alayam,
Mawa'abu.
Mawa'aba,
Wahagariam.
Wahagaryam,
Gabal.
Gabal,
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimawan,
Wa'aimalak.
Wa'aimalak,
Halashat.
Halashath,
I'm Yeshabya.
I'm Yeshabya,
Tazawar.
Tazawar,
Gum.
Gam,
Ashawar.
Ashawar,
Nalawa.
Nalawa,
Imam.
Imam,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Zarwad,
Zarwad,
Labanya,
Labanya,
Lawat,
Lawat,
Salah,
Salah,
Asha,
Aisha,
Laham,
Laham,
Kakidam,
Kakidam,
Kasa,
Kasa,
Kasaya,
Kasaya,
Sara'ah,
Sara'ah,
Kayabyan,
Kayebyan,
Banakal,
Banakar,
Kayeshwan,
Kwayeshwan,
Nashamadwa,
Nashamawa,
Ba'ayan,
Bayan,
Da'ara,
Da'ara,
Hayawa,
Hayawa,
Daman,
Daman,
La'ah,
La'ar,
Ladama,
Ladama,
it's like Dama,
Dama,
Shaya,
Shaya,
Thamwa,
Thamwa,
Nada,
Nada,
Yamawa,
Yamawa,
Ka'irab,
Ka'irab,
Ashar,
Ashar,
Amarwa,
Amarwa,
Naya,
Naya,
Narasha,
Narusha,
like it, Rasha,
Rashad,
Lanawa,
Lanawa,
Ath, Na'awat,
Nawat,
Allahayam,
Allahayam,
Allahaya,
Allahaya,
Shayathamwa,
Shayathamwa,
Kagagala,
Kagagala,
Kakwash,
Kakwash,
Lapanya,
Lapanya,
Rawaka,
Rauka,
Ka'ash,
Ka'ash,
Taba'ira,
Taba'ira,
Ya'ira,
Ya'ira,
Wakal,
Wakar,
Kalahaba,
Kalaba,
Talahat,
Talahat,
Harayam,
Haryam,
Khan,
Khan,
Tharadapma,
Taradapma,
Basa'iraka,
Basa'araka,
Wabasa,
Wabasa,
Wapathka,
Wapathka,
Tabahalam,
Tabalam,
Mala'ah,
Mala'ah,
Panyaham,
Panyaham,
Kualawan,
Kwalawan,
Waya,
Waya,
Bakashwa,
Bakwashwa,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Yabashwa,
Yabashwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Bahawa,
Bahawa,
Ayat,
Ayat,
Waya,
Waya,
Kaparwa,
Kaparwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Abadwa,
Abadwa,
Waya,
Waya,
Da'aiwa,
Da'aiwa,
Kaya,
Kaya,
Atha,
Atha,
Shamka,
Shamka,
Yahawa,
Yahawa,
Labadka,
Labadka,
Ayawan,
Ayawan,
Al,
Al,
Kal,
Kal,
Ha'aratza.
All right, in the English, Psalms, the 83rd chapter. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
And be not still, O Yahweh.
For lo,
thine
enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
And let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Yashar'Allah may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Ishmaelites. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. Gabal. And Ammon. And Amalek. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kisan. Which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. And like Ze'eb. Yea, all their princes as Zabah. And as Amunah. Who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh in possession. Oh my God. Make them like a wheel. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest. And make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame and perish. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth.
Blessings in the Hebrew.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Allahayim.
Wa Allahayim.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Tazab Ya'ah.
Alawap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Ha Alawapiam.
Ha Alawapim.
Hasaranyam.
Hasaranyam.
Hakatazayanyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakayayanyam.
Hakayayayam.
Wa Hakwatyam.
Wa Hagwathim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
The water Aman.
The water Aman. In the English, bless you Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh
And
Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahana.
Commanding General Yohanan.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh
In the
Shai.
name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it.
All right. We could be seated. Yeshabium. Shabbat. Ask if any one of them brothers out there want to be anointed with oil. All right, so now we're going to do the anointing. Give me 1 second. All right, any brothers want to be anointed? You can step on up. Make some room. Make sure everybody can fit in there. All right. All right, so what we're going to do is just the brothers up here. Nobody else say anything. Just us up here. We're going to say these prayers, the anointing prayers. All right. All right. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraki Yahweh.
Waya Shamarka.
Waya Shamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashimlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Kabarama.
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 Genesis.
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 Shai.
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 Shai. Basham Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
The water
The
Aman.
water Aman.
Y'all can be seated. All right. Another hand. What we just said was in the English, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, protect. Kabbalah, Genesis, and Shai. Any sisters want to be anointed with oil, you can step up. All right, and this prayer comes directly out of Numbers, the 6th chapter, the 22nd verse through the 27th verse. Step aside real quick. It's no sweat. I know we ain't got too much space in this little corridor we got right here, so it's all good. Give her a heavy one. She be screaming and shit. All right. So we're gonna do the same thing. So now what we do is, I think y'all kind of already understand, but when we point to you, you're gonna say your name, and you we'll point to you, you'll say it once, we'll repeat it, you say your name 3 times. All right. So just the same thing you just saw with the brothers, all right? So we'll say the same prayer again. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraki Yahweh.
Waya Shamarka.
Waya Shamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Salagi.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Yasha'al Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashimlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Basham.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak. Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Nicole.
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 Kana.
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 Takuya.
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 Nara.
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 Nara. Nara. Basham Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai.
The water Aman.
The water Aman.
All right, get that in hand. Y'all can be seated. All right. Once again, what we said in the English is Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield these 3 sisters here. All right. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna salute out the class. Just can you get them brothers in here real quick? Just let them know we gotta salute out the class real quick. All right. right, so give us just a second. So we're gonna begin with just a courtesy salute to the brothers. All right, men of Israel, Majum, everybody, just the men, stand. All right, give each other a courtesy salute to salute out the Sabbath service. Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak,
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barak Atham.
Sorry towards the sisters Amajim, which means to stand. All right, we're gonna get the sisters a courtesy salute. All right, men of Israel, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim Barak,
Yahweh Shamar Alathon Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Y'all repeat. The other two sisters, you say Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Shamar,
Shamar,
Al,
Al,
Athun,
Athan,
Bahashem,
Ba'ashem,
Yahushua,
Yahweh,
which means the Most High watch over you in the name of Christ. All right, that's what that means. All right, Yajim Matak, service dismissed.